We mentioned at the top of the show that we wanted to take a couple of minutes in today's show just to pay special tribute to a very special young man, Michael Myvett. He was a therapist for the Center for Autism and Related Disorders, and if you watch the news, you know that there was a horrifying bus accident that happened late last week in Northern California. A group of high school kids that were going north to view a prospective college. Michael was a chaperone with his fiancée on the bus, and his life and her life were both lost. We're very sad about that. We have Marina Balkin, who is joining us right now via Skype. She is the Regional Clinical Manager for CARD Torrance. Marina, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
So we wanted to take just a couple of minutes. I didn't know Michael personally, although I feel like he's a part of my family because he was a therapist working for CARD. And we wanted to have somebody who did know him to talk just a little bit about who Michael was, and so we could get to know a little bit more about him.
Great. Well, I'm happy to share information about Michael because he really was a wonderful person. He worked out of our office in Torrance for 2 years. He was responsible for teaching kids both in their home, and he worked at a couple of different schools. And everywhere he went, he was just beloved by the people that he worked with. He was such a positive person. He always had a smile on his face, and even with some of the most challenging behaviors that he dealt with some of his kiddos, he still had such a great attitude about it. One of the famous quotes from Michael that we're all kind of remembering in our office is anytime you ask him, how are you doing? He would say, I'm living the dream, because he really loved the work that he was doing. He was so happy to be engaged to Madison, and he was just a pleasure to work with. He liked Disneyland, video games. He was really into superheroes. He was a good artist. He would use some of his artistic talent to really bond with the kids that he worked with. And we really, really appreciated the work that he did for us in Torrance.
What a remarkable young man, and what a great quote, and thrilling to know how happy he was in his brief time on this earth with us. Marina, how is everybody at the Torrance office, and how are the families that had him as a therapist, how are they dealing with this tragedy?
The families he worked with are understandably very upset. He was in their lives pretty consistently for a long time, and I think they really saw the joy that he brought to the work that he did, and he was a really great support to the families and the school teams that he worked with. They're all very, very, very upset by the loss. With the kiddos that he worked with, some are capable of understanding the loss, some are not, and so to those that are, families are trying to explain as best they can that he's not coming back, and just trying to get past that. But his families are very, very upset by the loss. And in our office, we're trying to support each other as best we can. We've been there for each other. We've spent time remembering good memories of Michael, and we all have them. Therapists that didn't even really get to work with him on teams knew of him because of his large and happy personality.
Well, a remarkable individual. And Marina, we thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule today to share about him so that we can all appreciate what a remarkable person he was. A tragic, tragic loss. Please give our best to everybody in Torrance.
Okay, well, thank you.
Thank you so much. Again, Michael Myvett, we're remembering him today. Our thoughts and our prayers are with his family and with those of his fiancée. A tragic loss.